5280 Sports Network on a Thursday. Nate Lundy, Shawn Drotar with you for your morning minute, which might actually be completely outdated within the next 4 hours. Why? Because it's the NBA trade deadline coming up at 1 o'clock today. With whether the Nuggets will or will not pull a trigger, we will know by 1 o'clock Mountain Time, because that is the trade deadline for the league. So as you look across the day, Shawn, if we get to the point where we've gone all the way through today, we've gone until 1 o'clock, and nothing has happened for the Denver Nuggets, what will be your mood?
I'll be disappointed. I don't think the Nuggets have to make a lot of trades, but I do think that they have to make some move away from Danilo Gallinari. They've proven that they can win without him, even though he is their leading scorer. But he has a player option at the end of this season. He is going to exercise it, and then they will probably lose him for nothing. So I think the Nuggets have to find a way to get something out of Danilo Gallinari, so these last 26 games of the season aren't all they get from him, and then that's it. Plus, given the injury concerns, I don't even know how available he's going to be during those last 26. So to me, I do want to see the Nuggets move on from Danilo Gallinari, whether it's getting a young player that they can use in the rotation going forward or a future pick, something like that. But I agree with something you brought up early this morning, Nate, and that is you don't just give him away for nothing, because in this case, making the playoffs may be more valuable for the Nuggets than, say, getting only a second-round pick.
Well, I invite Nuggets fans to look at this from a slightly different angle, if you would, for just a second. Humor me for a minute. When we talk about teams that could trade for Danilo Gallinari, we're talking about teams that want him because they are in a playoff run. They are in a position where they think Gallo can help them, can provide them some minutes, some points, some rebounds, whatever the case may be, that helps them as they go through a playoff push. So I invite you to actually change your perspective for a moment and realize that the Denver Nuggets are in that exact same position. They currently hold the 8th spot, but now you've got the Pelicans right behind them, who just added DeMarcus Cousins. So if your goal is to make sure you make the playoffs, which I think it should be for the Nuggets because I think this young team needs the experience, then I think Tim Connelly and the team need to look at this and say, well, wait a minute, if someone on the receiving end would want Danilo Gallinari to help them, maybe we need to realize that Danilo Gallinari helps us. And even though you will lose him, or may lose him if he doesn't want to stay or sign the deal, to a bigger contract and to another team in the offseason, haven't you just done exactly what some team that's going to trade for him wants to do? He may be what gets you the push, and as Shawn just pointed out, he is, after all, at the end of the day, your leading scorer. Do I believe they can get the 8th seed without him? Yes. Do I believe it might benefit them to hold on to the 8th seed with him? Possibly. So if it's a bad trade offer, if it's something that truly doesn't help you either in the short term or in the long term through the draft, I don't think it hurts you to hold on to Danilo Gallinari. Shawn, what about Wilson Chandler? This is the other name that has been brought up. Adrian Wojnarowski has talked about him a lot, saying that they believe that there are some teams that are interested in him. It's a more favorable contract, things like that a team might want to add him not just for a run in 2017, but going forward. Do you think Wilson Chandler is the other name that can wind up getting gone by 1 o'clock today?
Certainly. Chandler's maybe the easiest to trade. He's made rumblings that he'd like to be out and go somewhere else. So I think he's easier to trade given the salary's a little less than Gallo's. It runs longer than Gallo's, and truthfully, he's a little more versatile. While maybe not the highest score, certainly a more versatile guy. Can play at the 2, can play at the 3, can even play at the 4 if you're playing small ball. For a lot of contenders, I think they can see a spot for Wilson Chandler and saying, we can plug him in somewhere. So I think there'll be a lot more appeal. That said, the Nuggets, because he is under contract for longer, don't necessarily have to move him. If they want to make a move, they can do that in the offseason as well. I think he's the second most likely to move, and he's probably the easiest to move. But he also is a guy that the Nuggets can wait until they get a trade that they like.
Trade deadline coming up 1 o'clock this afternoon Mountain Time. Also keep in mind the Nuggets with back-to-backs here. Back to work tonight in Sacramento, then back home tomorrow night against Brooklyn. 2 games that they must win. You've got to beat these 2 teams as you continue to try to hold on to that final spot in the Western Conference playoffs. What will the lineup look like? Who knows? We'll find that out with you as that news happens throughout the day. But certainly 2 games coming up on the schedule that the Nuggets need to come out of the All-Star break with W's. We'll keep an eye on it. Make sure you're following us on Twitter. He is at @SDrotar on Twitter. I am at Nate Lundy. You can also follow the network at 5280 Sportsnet, our friends at milehighsports.com, etc. Keep track of what's going on and make sure you're following our buddy Chris Dempsey now with Altitude. Chris A. Dempsey is how you find him on Twitter as well. So we'll have some fun with the NBA trade deadline, easy for me to say, and then next week we'll do it for the NHL as well. But for now, this has been your Morning Minute. For Shawn, I'm Nate. See ya.